Hello and welcome. I am Aisha Melina, and this is Butterflies and Rainbows. um, it's named that way because we're going to do a beautiful butterfly pose that will center in, and we'll also do really fun variation of bridges. So consider that your rainbow. You'll need 2 blocks. And I have some stuff on YouTube or, pardon me, on Instagram where you can kind of like fudge making a block if you don't have one. But I think you'll enjoy having a block today. So let's get started in our reclined butterfly pose, which I almost rarely call by its English name because it's such a beloved pose. Most people just know Supta Baddha Konasana. So I'm going to use these for my knees, or I'm going to put them in place once I lay down. And I'm choosing to not go on a bolster today. It's just different. Not necessarily right or wrong, just different. And then I'm allowing myself always in the beginning of the class for centering to fidget around until I find what feels good. And I really encourage you to do the same. So don't just expect to land in some sort of perfect position, but rather allow yourself to find it so that you're teaching yourself to do that continuously and can take that away with you for the rest of class and life. So maybe you're coming into a Supta Baddha Konasana reclined butterfly pose that suits you. And from here, I want you to just begin to relax. Allow your whole body to become both heavy as well as easy. If you chose to prop up the blocks underneath a body part, then begin to trust that prop and relax into it. And now begin to just notice your breath and your breathing. And it's easy here to, as soon as we notice it, kind of make it more and automatically increase our breathing. For a moment, can you just hold off on that and see if you can observe your natural breathing? No judgment. And then maybe you gradually, if you haven't already, no big deal, breathing a little bit longer, a little bit deeper. Maybe making your inhales and exhales so that they're sort of the same length and speed, volume. All while continuously relaxing more and more. If you notice your mind wandering, then don't judge it. Don't judge yourself. It's only normal. But maybe try to tie into, anchor your awareness into your breathing and how your breath feels. Very good. Take a few more deep breaths here. And then absolutely no rush, either with just the legs or maybe mindfully adding the hands. You're going to bring your knees together and your feet apart. So maybe walking your feet what would be about met with distance apart. Or until you find that your legs can sort of flop onto each other and be supported by each other, knee against knee. And I'll take advantage here of kind of mentioning that it's just not that serious. Nothing we're doing should have force or be very forceful. So don't expect any major things to happen. We're looking for subtle stuff here. Almost as if the more quiet we turn our sensations, the better capacity we can exercise to become truly quiet. And I'm not saying still, I'm just saying listening to the really, really subtle details. That kind of quiet. Another breath or two or three here. And then eventually moving the legs so that they're so that they're approximately hip width distance apart. We're going to come into a supported bridge. Lambasita Bandhasana. So you're going to use one of your blocks. It could be on a low setting, medium, or high. I tend to like to start off with low, just lifting my hips up, and that block is then going kind of underneath the bony part of the tail. It doesn't get super comfortable if it's more low back. Play around with it, and it's not supposed to feel like a big effort, right? Usually if you get it underneath the bone, it'll feel just right. We're going to do a little exploration here. I want you to play around with your feet as much as you need throughout this exploration. So if you need them wider at any point, closer to the butt, further away from the butt, etc., allow it to happen. I know that I'm going to go a little bit wider myself here and a little bit further away from the butt. And then I'm going to roll, I'm going to drive a little action, and I'm going to roll inside of the foot to the outside of the foot. So I'm imagining that things are coming from the feet, even though lots of other things are moving. I'm sort of trying to drive with the feet, just for now. Rolling edge to edge. Nice and slow. Keep going. Keep going. Keep breathing. Maybe it's subtle for you. Maybe it's less subtle. Whatever it is you're experiencing is just right. And if you ever experience it, something that just doesn't seem right, then you are allowed to stop. Good. Maybe you're still keeping your awareness at your feet. Maybe your awareness has wandered, and maybe you're driving a little bit more with the knees at this point. Totally fine. If you are not driving with the knees, then you can begin driving with the knees. Maybe you'll feel like you're just experiencing something different. Wherever it is you're driving from now, can you also imagine what's happening in and around your hips? Just breathe. Breathe and move. Don't worry about where you're inhaling or where you're exhaling. Breathe, move, and sense. I'm a really short gal. I'm gonna stay on this low setting. For those of you who are quite a bit taller, your block is proportionately like a little bit smaller, right? If you want, I want to just give you the option to move a little higher on your block. So just stacking your block on a different edge. We'll stay here for just about a minute, so no rush. And if you're enjoying where you are, just keep moving your active butterfly here. And for the last part here, if there's any spot that just feels extra sweet and you just want to linger in it and you haven't already, then know that you are totally allowed. I even encourage it. It doesn't have to be symmetric, but if there's like just that one spot that you're like, oh, you want to wiggle around there, allow it. Last, I don't know, 2 or 3 or so breaths here, all the way in and all the way out. Good. And then just kind of organize your legs in any way that you think is going to make you feel strong enough to lift off the block. And nice and slow. We've been on the block for a long time, so take care of yourself. We're going to move that tailbone back down onto the floor. And then nice and slow, come into an apanasana, knees in towards the chest, any way you like. Maybe you're hugging yourself and giving yourself a little wiggle and tailbone massage here. Mm-hmm. And then we're just going to find a super easy twist. Supta Matsyendrasana. So I guess it's not super easy for everybody. If you want, you can just tilt your legs over to one side. If you want a little bit more, you're going to set, well, let's take the right foot down onto the ground, cross the left leg over the right leg for a bound-ish legs. And then I like to pick up my hips and scooch them a little bit to the left. But any way you like, twist towards the right. Lovely place to get a little supportive with a block or maybe even two. Yeah, fidget around until you feel nice and comfortable. And I know one of the cues we often mention here is that you want the left shoulder to stay down. And I just want to say, for the purpose of today, that yeah, it's nice if it can be closer to the ground because that creates a deeper twist. But maybe instead of forcing it down, can you just allow your left shoulder to become just easy? Maybe try to allow it to sink. And if it's just elevated like mine is today, I'm going to go a little higher on my propping. So I'm twisting less, it seems like, with the lower body. But now my left shoulder is relaxing and it's just more of a supported, restorative posture. So I'm going to give you about another couple of breaths to figure it out and fidget, and then we're staying for a whole minute. Very good. Just relax and know that you are being supported. Just breathe and know that you are perfect right here, right now. Just another breath or two here. Absolutely no rush and in any order that suits you. You're gonna unwind, come back through center, scoot your hips so that they feel nice and sorted underneath you, and give yourself a little wiggle of choice here. It could be the same little knees into chest that we did earlier. You can also, I love here finding like a tiny little rocking on my tailbone back and forth. Maybe combining it with a little tail wag. Good. And then no rush at all. We're gonna come into the other side. So you're gonna wrap your right leg over the left leg, scoot your hips over to the right, and then, you know, don't have to go into autopilot and prop yourself up right away, but rather figure out how much support you need in order to just fully relax for just about 1 minute or so. Play around with it. You have a couple of moments here before I'm counting that 1 minute. Very good. Keep relaxing. Keep breathing. Allow your next couple of breaths here to just feel a little extra. That's it. Nice and slow. Unwinding, unwrapping, unraveling back through center. Little wiggle of choice. And then one more thing before we start settling up here. Reach your legs sort of to the sky. They can be a little bent if this feels difficult, but maybe if you feel like it'll be nice for you, you can straighten the legs and then pull them towards you anywhere behind the leg where you can get a good grip. Maybe you can even reach the feet. Flexing the toes is always going to add a little extra stretch through that backside. Beautiful. And then I do want to give you the option to stay on the ground. It kind of depends on what it is you need to do for the rest of your day. So, but if perhaps it's in the middle of the day and because we've been laying down so much, I want to offer you also to come into a seat. Any way you like is just fine. And if you want to sit on one of your blocks, you can. Sometimes it's nice to just take them underneath the knees. If you're choosing Shavasana, then just kind of wiggle around until you're in a good spot to just relax. And then just your palms can be up or down. Maybe you try both, allowing your hands to find an easy place. And then even if it's just for a brief moment, can you allow yourself to sort of withdraw yourself from any and all sensations? Certainly you might hear your neighbor's dog or something like that, but can we for a moment practice here to not react towards any of the distractions, internal or external? So we're just simply hovering right here, right now. We're hovering right here, right now for just a few more moments, fully surrendering into our present state, our present being. Very gently, just become aware of your breath and your breathing once again. Maybe you begin to gradually breathe a little more. And as the breath becomes a little more, it just organically starts moving the body. Allow yourself to just miniature, exaggerate that movement in any way that feels organic to you. Little sways, little rocks, whatever. When you're ready, you can move some limbs, hands, arms, legs, feet, head. And if you're laying down and you're very comfortable there, then you can stay laying down. If you want to come up to a seat, you may. If you're laying down, you can take your hands any way you like, close to your heart. We can also, wherever you are, meet in a Namaste Mudra, palm against palm. And just for one more moment here, right now, simply notice yourself. Rub your palms together. I offer you to take your hands to cup your face. And then with gratitude, when it feels right, begin to come back. Hari Om, Om Shanti, and Namaste.